Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the Court of the ED Digester. How are we all? Got an interesting one for you today. Oh, join, subscribe, like this, share it if you can, please. That's really important. And if you can buy me a coffee, that'd be great because it keeps me going. All right. So I've got something important for you today, which comes from what's called the SCEN network. SCEN. Right now, SCEN are part of the civil service, and they're sort of like I met one of the chaps who founded this. Fabulous bloke, right? So they get together, and they've got together with other people within the civil service, which, as you know, has got hundreds of thousands of people employed in it, most of which don't need to be the bureaucrats, right? I shouldn't say that's terrible. What a terrible thing to say. So SCEN, who are battling against the gender and all that nonsense that we see within the civil service, are really in the heart of one of the primary battlefields of this, which is the socialist state that is within the state, which is the DWP, HMRC, everywhere else, DEFRA, all of these public sector bodies, which are essentially socialist states being run as culturally socialist, are finding themselves up against SCEN, which is a number of people who come together about gender and said, yeah, no. Thank you, but no. Right? So, a really good article from SCEN. So if you've not heard of them, the article's in the Dubras, and please do go and have a look and find out a little bit about them. Look at their FAQ and see what they're doing, because they're doing good work. And it says here, this is a post from the network leadership team. It's interesting because it's about manifestation. Right? So a frequent area of discussion and dispute around gender critical views is whether and how much they can be expressed, brackets, or manifested, to use the legal term, in the workplace. Interesting, right? Because people often say to me, this is what they're doing in work, I feel like I can't say anything. So this question, this is being asked in order that they can attempt to answer the question, how much? How much is within the law? How much can you say? And they've responded by saying there is no simple answer to this question, as each situation would turn on its own unique facts. But the case law is clear that there can be no blanket prohibition on the expression of gender critical views. That's very important, you notice there. No blanket prohibition. There might be a circumstance where there is a good reason to curtail the expression of gender critical views, or indeed another protected belief. However, any actions to curtail any protected belief cannot be taken lightly. It must have a clear justification and must be proportionate. A careful consideration of the facts will be needed before making any decision to minimise legal risk and avoid creating unfairness and inequality. This article focuses on what the law currently says on the expression of gender critical beliefs and highlights areas of legal ambiguity. So this is interesting for those who find themselves stuck in the workplace feeling they can't speak. Subtitle: The Right to Freedom of Thoughts, Belief and Religion. The principle that lies behind the right to manifest a protected belief is the right to freedom of thought, belief and religion. This right, the right to express all protected belief in some way, is enshrined in Article 9 of the European Convention on Human Rights, the ECHR, which includes the right to not only privately hold a belief, but to manifest it publicly. This right has been integrated into the Equality Act 2010, which makes religion and belief a protected characteristic under Section 4. The scope of religion and belief is defined in Section 10 and in case law, and includes any religion or religious or philosophical belief, including the lack of belief. So, part of the Equality Act, we know. So that's the most important thing there. It came from the ECHR and went into the Equality Act when the Equality Act 2010 was constructed. The expression of gender critical beliefs. Turning now to gender critical views. When considering if conduct restricting the expression of gender critical views is lawful, there are two tests. The first is whether gender critical views are protected by the Equality Act. The second is whether the precise way they are being manifested is lawful. Right? Here the law is settled, and the answer straightforward. Yes, they are. They are protected by law. So that's the first thing. Gender critical views are protected by law. The test for whether a belief falls under Section 10 in the Equality Act and qualifies for protection under the Equality Act is set out in what was called the case of Granger. There's more explanations about this in the article, case of Granger. Gender critical beliefs, the belief that biological sex is real, important and mutable, And yes, before you point it out, I know it's a fact. It doesn't need to be a belief because it's a fact. I understand, but, in this ever-changing world in which we live in, as he quotes McCartney. Right. Is so gender-critical beliefs. The belief that biological sex is real, important and immutable qualifies for protection under 10, following the well-known case of Forstata Maya, as you know, Maya. Manifestation, different, right? Different, right? So it's a protected belief. So if somebody goes around saying, oh, Barry's a GC twat, and then eventually they fire me for being a GC twat, they'd be in deep trouble, right? Deep trouble. Okay? And I'm quite happy to say, I don't believe in all this. I'm sorry. That's it. I don't believe in it. There's sex is immutable. In, for example, a conversation would be a perfectly reasonable way to express your belief. You'd have thought, right? So let's look and see whether that's true. Manifestation of gender critical beliefs. Whether a belief is protected is only the first limb to consider. There is also a question of whether and how a belief can be manifested. It is here that the law is more complex. Well, imagine my surprise. I am Jack's surprised liver. Let's start with the question of what manifestation actually means. Legally speaking, the term is broad when applied to beliefs and covers a wide range of ways in which a protected belief is expressed or made known to others. One thing the law is clear on is that the right to manifest protected beliefs is extremely important. Again, case law here, Higgs, with more information in the article, highlighted in relation to the Equality Act, the freedom to manifest a protected belief and to express views relating to that belief are, quote, essential rights in any democracy, whether or not the belief in question is popular or mainstream, and even if its expression may offend. We like that particular quote very much indeed, because it means I can tell people to F off and tell them that they're, oi, you stupid narc. This is important and worth reflecting on because it is sometimes suggested that the opposite applies to gender critical views. Although the belief that biological sex is real, immutable, and important is widely held, it is sometimes claimed that this is a controversial view. This fact we've known for thousands of years is a controversial view, right? Which could cause offence to some people, and it is therefore always... Who's offended by that? Oh, men in dresses, right? It's therefore cause offence to... Oh, and who else? Oh, people that support men in dresses. It's therefore always inappropriate to express this view in the workplace. This is not the case. The courts have set a high threshold for the restriction of the manifestation of a protected belief, including gender-critical beliefs. However, while the expression of protected beliefs is regarded as fundamental democratic right, it can nevertheless be lawfully curtailed in limited circumstances. To understand the circumstances in which this can happen, the first step is to return to where the concept originates in the ECHR. Okay. We could all do with knowing this, folks. Now, there's more in the article there from SCEN, and it would be great if you can go and visit the website, have a look and see what they're about. There's an FAQ. Understand how important they are to the civil service and the work that they're currently doing. Really important stuff. So any links and everything I'll put in the dupers as usual. But please, I do urge you to go and have a look and to read this article in full, because it will give you a clearer picture of where exactly we are and how things work in the workplace. Because I work for myself, I can say what I like. I had somebody say what I had completely tough complaints come through before people talking to it. They go, I want to speak to the they ring up, they go, I want to speak to the manager. And I go, hang on, again. Hello? They go, I understand one of your employees, Barry Wall, is doing awful things on you. I go, this is me. And the phone will go, click. Because working for yourself gives you a certain freedom. Yep, it gives you freedom to go if you're into, critical social justice. Up yours. I should have to give myself a disciplinary. Here you go with that. The case will be in the ECHR before you know it. Look, go and have a look. SCEN, fantastic work, fantastic people. Really beginning to bring the reality of the world to the civil service in an attempt to undermine their, quite frankly, insane culture, which has been developed by insane, lunatic leftists over many years. A hard task. But here's wishing them luck, because we know the vast majority of people in the civil service are perfectly reasonable people who will understand exactly what's going on, but have been silenced by those few antagonistic, grievance gerbils who want nothing but to cause damage to everything and to everyone and to steal your time. That'll do. Go have a read. I'll see you later. Tell me in the Dubris. I like it. Share this. Bye.